Just imagine you've hit your head really hard and you have a massive headache that feels like your head is going to explode. You go to the doctor and they tell you the only way they can treat your headache is to drill a hole in your skull. Now imagine this happened 12,000 years ago. You're hit in the head with a stone club. Your doctors are going to use rudimentary metal, stone, and obsidian tools to drill into your skull to relieve pressure. These were the first attempts at brain surgery that have carried through the ages into modern-day craniotomy. Trepanation, the drilling of a hole into the skull, is a widely used medical treatment that has been around for thousands of years and has developed many modern surgical practices. I will talk about the historical evidence, the procedure, and the modern uses. First, I will discuss the evidence of trepanation. There are many historical examples of trepanation. The most well-known example is from South America in what is modern Peru. The Peruvian people practiced trepanation mainly for medical reasons and had a high success rate with 50 to 90% survival, according to Charles G. Goss of the MIT Press Reader. One of the main reasons for their high survival rate was their vast knowledge of medicinal plants for antiseptic and healing properties. In North America, there are fewer examples of skulls found with trepanation holes. Skulls have been found all around the United States, including Illinois, Arkansas, Michigan, New Mexico, and several others. It is unclear whether these trepanations were medicinal or spiritual in nature. In Illinois, a trepan skull was found in Blue Creek Mounds in Pike County near the Illinois River, according to American Anthropology. There are several theories as to why there was a hole in the skull of this person, but after deliberations, researchers decided that it was a trepanation hole. And this is the skull that they had found. Trepanation is not a phenomenon unique to North and South America. There have been skulls found all around the globe in nearly all continents. In fact, trepanations were used in ancient Greece and Rome, as well as Europe, and were advocated by Hippocrates and Galen. Early doctors used trepanation not just spiritually or for medicinal, for head wounds, but also treated for headaches, epilepsy, and mental disorders. Next, we'll look at the procedure of trepanation. Tools used to perform trepanation have evolved throughout the ages. During prehistoric times, they used stone, obsidian, and rudimentary metal. Eventually, they moved on to saws and mechanical devices in historic times. Along with these early tools, natives were the first to use cauterization and cotton to control bleeding and keep the wound clean. The Peruvians would anesthetize patients using peyote, cocoa, or hypnosis before using their tools to cut a rectangular flap that would fold out of the way. After the scalp had been removed, they would excise the skull by either cutting, sawing, scraping, or drilling, according to the Encyclopedia of American Contributions to the World. They would carefully remove the piece of skull, avoiding the dura or the membrane of the brain. These procedures had a very high success rate, between 50 and 90% survival. As time went on, however, during early historic periods, the success rate dropped due to poor hygiene, lack of knowledge, and a result of moving away from indigenous people's wisdom. Last, we'll talk about the modern uses of trepanation. Trepanation wasn't just an ancient type of surgery. Trepanation carried into modern times. For example, they are using trepanation in the Civil War to help combat head wounds and clear up debris like cranial fracture. As time went on, trepanation evolved into a treatment for epidural and subdermal hematomas and to relieve intracranial pressure. The stone tools gave way to surgical steel, and the procedure changed. Interestingly enough, not all of the tools had changed. Many doctors still use obsidian to this day. Trepanation, the drilling of a hole into one's skull, is a widely used medical treatment that has been used for thousands of years and developed many modern surgical practices. I talked about the historical evidence of trepanation, the procedure, and the modern uses. While trepanation may not be needed on a daily basis, there is much we can learn from the procedure, especially from those indigenous people who developed it. Thank you for listening.